round of applause, please, for Sir Paul Smith.
You know, when people come to Japan, I'm under no illusion that it's a tough job, because there's a lot of people out there after the same bit of business. Nobody needs another designer. Nobody needs another motor car company or another aeroplane company or another restaurant. I read this week, actually, for instance, one of my big fashion houses, and they were saying that their shares were down 8% and that China was flat and Europe was flat. But at no point did they mention that in the last few years there used to be that many shops in the world, and now there are that many shops in the world. And they don't mention that actually it's not just about business being flat, because probably business is okay. It's just there's so many more people fishing from the fish ponds. In a world which is full of too much, creativity and design has never been so important, because that could create a point of view. The key thing is you've got to have a point of view. James Dyson is a pal of mine, and when he first invented his vacuum cleaner, made out of cardboard and tape, his first one was actually made in Japan by a small maker, and he couldn't find anybody to stock the vacuum cleaner. But I stocked the vacuum cleaner in my men's clothes shop, and I sold 32 in a men's clothes shop. People used to walk in and say, "Why have you left the vacuum cleaner out?" And I say, "Well, I haven't. His vacuum cleaner had a point of view. First of all, it had no bag, it was a cylinder. And also it was in ridiculous colours of lilac and pink. But at least it had a point of view. And then also the key thing is control. When I started here in Japan, it was in the 80s, the 1980s. Many people were coming here then. They would lose control. I had one young lady rang me who was a designer, quite a famous designer, and she rang me and she said, "How come you're still doing so well in Japan? The things they make of mine, they're so hideous and they're not what I want." I said, "Well, how many times a year do you go to Japan?" She said, "A year. I've only been once." So we control every new shop, we control all the advertising, the promotion, the distribution. All the shops are designed from London. Think laterally is just so underrated, because if you think down the obvious route, it's very hard to find a point of view. If I look at all the magazines and say, "Oh, this company's doing that, this company's doing that, this company's that, we must do that." No, because that already exists. It's like buying yesterday's newspapers. So many designers are locked into a certain style, and then they're not brave enough often to move out of that style. Fashion is about today and tomorrow. That's why you can't get locked into a style. What's next? Whatever you want it to be, but please, no more of the same. Whoever's looking at this online, and if you're thinking of coming to Japan, don't just think you're going there because it's a trip that's subsidised and that you're just going to come and it's a bit of a fun thing for a few days. Why would anybody want to buy your product? Why? Think about that in advance. Do your analysis. Check out your area, because probably nobody even needs you there. What's your point of view? Really think it through. Otherwise it won't work. There's a beautiful character about the Japanese people, and also the fact that they're very inventive. And as I said earlier, once you've shown them that you know, then you're let out, and your dreams can come true.